Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's C.K, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation startups, the future. Not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notified when your new show comes online. If you're listening on your favorite podcast service, just hit that subscribe button and give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. So I love reading science fiction. I used to read science fiction from when I was a small child. I would get under the covers and my parents thought I was asleep, but I was actually had my flashlight there and I would read science fiction novels and I would imagine this amazing future that was coming to us, this amazing future that was ahead of us. And I love that. I love being able to think about the future, think about a time beyond the time I was in, where we were able to solve many of the problems of the world that we had. And as I got older, I realized that's what I wanted to dedicate my life to. I wanted to dedicate my life to making the future better than the past. Trying to figure out that future, determine which future is the best future, and then work towards that future. I mean, somebody asked me once, what kind of a futurist are you? This was a job interview, and I had futurist on my resume. And she said, what kind of a futurist are you? And I'm like, what do you mean, what kind of a futurist am I? Are there different kinds of futurists? I thought there was just one type of futurist, the type of futurist who attempts to determine where the world is going. And instead of just reporting on where the world is going, try to move the world in a positive, optimistic direction. I thought that was what the job of futurist was. I didn't realize that there were different kinds of futurists. And of course, there's many pessimistic futurists out there who talk about how horrible the world's going to be in the future. And we hear all these dystopian stories of how bad things are going to be. And I'm sure that there's directions where things are going to get worse. And sure, in some cases, things are going to get worse. But I have faith that human ingenuity can still help us to improve things. And I talked about this earlier when I was talking about how everyone, there's so many people who think things are going to go in a negative way when it's entirely possible it could go in the opposite direction simply because we have all of these intelligent humans trying to figure out what the problem is. Now, that's assuming that we have all these humans trying to figure out what the problem is. Now, we are on the planet today at this very moment. The last I checked, there are 8.1 billion human beings on the planet. 8.1 billion human beings. And I thought to myself, what are those 8.1 billion human beings doing? Are they focused on being able to understand the problems of the human race and try to improve the human race? Are they scrabbling for food? Are they scrabbling for money? What are these 8.1 billion humans on the planet doing? Isn't that an amazingly huge amount of people? I mean, it boggles the mind. Can you imagine that many people? But here we are living on this planet with 8.1 billion people. And I have to think to myself, there must be a major portion, or at least a larger portion, of those individuals who want to improve their own lives, and others want to improve everyone's lives. Everyone's lives. So there must be, let's say, even 1 billion people out there who want to improve the human race. So if there's 1 billion people out there who want to improve the human race, even if it's 500 million, 500 million, imagine that. There is a huge number of people out there who want to improve the lot of humanity. So my question is, where are they? Why don't we ever hear about them? Because we're focused. We are so focused. The media is so focused on negativity because they know that that is what draws people in. Negativity is everywhere because if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead. People almost don't care about it unless it's a negative. In fact, you hear about these things. I mean, you have scientists like Steven Pinker and other sociologists who write these books with tons and tons of real life data, which states that life is getting better, that things are getting better. Things are actually getting better. Despite COVID, despite war, despite all these horrible things that are happening to the human race, our lot in life is improving. And these are facts. But do we ever hear about these facts? Do we ever hear about the optimistic side of things? Do we ever hear that things are getting better? No. We only hear that things are getting worse. And the reason this is because we allow it to happen. We continue to get triggered and excited and outraged by the negative stuff, when we should be actively seeking out the opposite. When you see news after news after news after news that's so negative, tune it out. Turn it off. This is the way our system works, is that if you're getting negative news and you're responding to negative news, then negative news will continue. If you're getting positive news and you're responding to positive news, then positive news to continue. They're just doing what we want, or what we think we want. So if we start desiring the positive side of things, the optimistic side of things, then who knows? Maybe the media will change its tune and start bringing us the positive side of life. And I think we need more of that. I think we need more trumpeting of how things are getting better here, humanity, than worse. Because it seems like all we're hearing is about the negative, negative, negative. Why don't we hear about the good stuff? Why don't we hear about the positive stuff? Because there is a lot of positive stuff going on, but we never, ever, ever hear about it. So think about that. How do we get the human race to understand that many good things are happening and we need to focus more on the good? Because if you think about it, this future is ours to change. We create our future. We forge our own future. And we have to decide, is this going to be our ideal future or is it not? That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.